You're watching or listening to The Looking Forward Show on PhillyCam, WPPN LP, Philadelphia, 106.5 FM, or PhillyCam TV. You can also see us live streaming on Xfinity 66 and 966, on Bios TV 29 and 30, on Roku, Apple TV, and Facebook, as well as our YouTube channel. And now, here's your host, Jeffrey Abramowitz.
Welcome to the Looking Forward.
That it was not going to have a response to it.
Yeah.
We were going to call people out about that call. Definitely.
Yeah, it's crazy. The Eagles lost in Philadelphia. I think hit all of our community hard, but our fans here in Philly are so passionate about our teams. And I'm going to tell you, honestly, as I travel around the country, probably the most knowledgeable about the sport itself. So I'm a big fan of listening to sports radio. I listen to listen to it on the way to work every day, and the passion of our people that just know football, they know the game, and they called a lot of what we saw on Sunday long in advance.
Yes.
So, but it is funny. The Super Bowl is probably one of the biggest sporting events in the country, and I know people watch it from all over the place, all over the world. Actually,
people in Ghana, Germany, they were watching this year's Super Bowl as they were shown on TV.
Yeah, and I'm curious, like, the ebb and flow of what it does to community. So you can feel it in the city. And maybe call me if I'm wrong on this, but I know that after you go to Frankfurt L the day after an Eagles loss, no matter when, even if it's regular season, you go on the L the morning after a loss, and there's just a different vibe in our city.
I walked out the house yesterday, and aside from the fact that it was cloudy outside, it was just, you could tell we were shot down. It was just like, because after the game, I heard nothing but rioting outside. I could tell that was the anger. And then here it comes. There's like the stages of grief when you lose someone. Yeah. It's like, we're angry, and now we're just like, everyone's just sad about it. And there's like, now we're going to be talking about it for the rest of time, because now it's not just about the Eagles losing, it's also about the validity of the sport of football and just sports all around.
Why do you mean that?
Because I was talking about with a few of my friends, and we were just discussing how it's very funny how back in the 90s, the 80s, there was no such thing as a FanDuel, a DraftKings, a Stake. There was no such thing as any sports betting companies, because at the time you would have to walk into a store and tell the owner of the store, hey, I want to go, I heard you have a dentist and I want to schedule an appointment with said dentist, and code just to place a bet down. Now you can openly bet on things legally.
Yeah, it's actually the largest sporting bet that anyone could place. There are all around the Super Bowl, and it's not just about winning and losing. You bet everything. How long the national anthem's gonna go? You can bet on the coin flip.
There was these guys they bet on what color the Gatorade was going to be for when it got poured. And,
I love it.
And they didn't even show the Gatorade being poured. They showed Andy after the fact. So you put money down for something you didn't even get to see.
That's great. It's great. But here in the city of Philadelphia, we are really passionate about our sports, all of them. And I think that seeing the Phillies lose this year and then seeing the Eagles lose, the one thing that upsets me is they really had a pretty good year.
But I take it with this positivity. It just makes Philadelphia very, very much a marketable city than New York, LA, Texas, Atlanta, because not only were the Phillies able to go to the World Series this year, MLS Championship, the Philadelphia Union was there.
Yeah.
The Eagles went to the Super Bowl recently, and then I am viewers should know, I am a big wrestling fan.
Ooh.
So WrestleMania will be here next year.
Big stuff.
At Lincoln Financial Field. So with that being said, all these things happening within the span of this year, it just goes to show when's the next All-Star game. That may be in Philly.
we gotta do a whole show on wrestling.
Or the next Super Bowl in Philly. Oh, I love it. Yeah, you could do 5 hours on wrestling. You got me.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, but sports in general here in Philly, we're a really passionate city, and it's crazy because when you go other places, there are a lot of cities that are pretty passionate about their sports. I was up in Boston recently. I was in Pittsburgh, and even Pittsburgh, hockey is big in Pittsburgh, right?
Disrespect hockey in Pittsburgh, and you won't leave it a puck.
No, seriously.
In places that you can't say on the
podcast. It's not a pirate thing, man, but you mess with those Penguins and forget it, man. And don't wear Flyers gear in Pittsburgh.
No, that's like wearing Giants gear in South Philly.
There you go. But sports is pretty impactful when it comes to the community. And the one thing I'll give a big shout out to the Eagles and Malcolm Jenkins, and a lot of the work that they're doing at the Eagles is really recognizing men and women that need second chances, marginalized populations, diversity and equity work they're doing, really giving back to community. Yes. And that's something that, sports players in general, they make so much money, but the league makes a lot of money, and they should be giving back to the community. They should be giving and helping young people out as they go to navigate their sports. Interesting. I was on the way back. I spoke in Lancaster this morning. And on my way home, I spoke at the Lancaster County Workforce Board, the Lancaster Chamber. We're talking about justice and getting people back to work after incarceration. But on the way back, I was listening. They were talking about sports on the radio, and they mentioned that a lot of parents they encourage their child to play one sport, to be best at one sport. And actually, there was doctors on saying that they really should be playing multiple sports and using multiple parts of their body because every sport has a different part of the body that has an impact for them.
It's why with football players, they tell football players to take ballet.
Yeah.
And when I played football in high school, I was already a dancer. So it was kind of like an advantage I had over some people.
Nice.
Because I was more nimble with my body than others.
Good stuff. So we got the Eagles going down. I've recently been on this kind of crazy journey of tour. So for those of you that haven't really talked about it a lot, I do want to give a big shout out to my new company that it's a nonprofit. It's called the Petey Green Program. And the Petey Green Program is a national company, and we are centered on education and helping men and women inside of our correctional and reentry facilities and programs across the country get smarter and find their way either to a high school diploma or to a career technical training certification or even to college. And we have a great college bridge program. But we're in a number of states around the country. We're doing amazing work, and we're really changing culture because it's the college students. We use a college student tutoring model, and the college students are going in behind the walls. They're working with people to get them smarter, and it changes the generation. It brings that humanity back to the young people to see that everyone behind the walls, they just made some choices that landed them there, but they're human, they're people, and they got skill and talent. They just need a little bit of help sometimes.
And that was approved by the CEO himself, guys. He also failed to mention that. He always does this when he mentions his company. He always forgets. I know he's being modest, but like, it's okay to tell people that you're the big CEO around here.
Yeah, I'm humbled by it.
Because not everybody, especially where we come from, get that opportunity to say, hey, I own my own company. No one owns me. I have a company.
Well, I do have a company. I speak to my board of directors who really control everything. But for me, the reality is, though, that if you are incarcerated or you've got a criminal background, there's no reason why you can't be a CEO or president of a company.
Exactly.
No reason.
And speaking on that board of directors thing, so does Vince McMahon. But you see, it's
true.
The WWE still flourishes through him.
Man, now that I know you got this wrestling bug going on.
Oh, yeah. That's how I'd be afraid to tell people. I'd be like, you know what? It's 2023.
I love it.
I like wrestling.
It's cool. So other things going on this week. One was there was a show that I was on recently. It was the Coach Elix. It's ELIX show. He's got a podcast. And if you could just Google Coach Elix, ELIX, yeah, it's a show. It's a podcast he's got, and he's up in New York. He's doing some great stuff. But we talked for an hour about reentry and justice. And
shout out to Coach Elix.
Yeah,
you have one
Coach
fire
Elix
name,
doing some
sir.
good stuff. I love the name too. And then and last, before we may take a short break after this, I wanted to shout out to the Small Business Mentoring Initiative. This is a program that launched about 6 months ago, 5-6 months ago. It's been doing some work in the space for a while, but it's a bunch of CEOs and really accomplished men and women in professions in Philadelphia and in New Jersey that all came together and said, we need to do something. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to share all of our knowledge with new entrepreneurs that want to start their companies, and we're going to give them an opportunity. We're going to mentor them for a 16-week course program, intensive course of getting your company off the ground. And they get paired up with a mentor, a professional mentor that's kind of their best friend through this. They do a business plan and presentations, and we've just finished our first cohort. And I'm super proud to announce that the winners of the first cohort they get funding, they get some money, was We Love Philly, and Carlos Aponte came in first place and did an amazing job. They're in West Philadelphia.
Congratulations.
You got to check out We Love Philly with Carlos. He's doing some great work in West Philadelphia. They're a nonprofit. Liliana Colon, she came in second place with a company called Cannabliss, which produces a CBD product. But she came in second and doing some great stuff with their company. And And Bianca Shepard, Bourbon Couture. It's a women's and men's line of clothing that she got off the ground. So big shout out to the Small Business Mentoring Initiative. So the next cohort's coming up in March. If you have any interest at all, we're going to post it on our website and we'll give a shout out. But check out Small Business Mentoring Initiative, applications online. We usually take between 15 and 20 mentees that are going to be joining us, and they'll try and get some funding when they get all done. So good stuff.
Miss Bianca, please give me a call. I'll wear your clothes on the air.
There you go. He's looking for it.
Support small businesses, especially fashion businesses.
I love it. So you're listening to the Looking Forward Show. I'm here with Ja King. We're going to be right back after this short break. We are back, and Ja King. So the best plans. So sometimes this show is we're on the fly, good, but we're on the fly with some of this. And Ja has he invited a guest on today, and in last minute, and the person's downstairs, and I don't know who it is, so he's going to surprise us. But I told him he could bring a surprise guest on. We're talking about SBMI, the Small Business Mentoring Initiative, and really a great program because it's given people an opportunity to start their companies and get off the ground, but using just some amazing experience from people that have done it, that have been successful. And a shout out to all the mentors that we had. One of them was our guest on our show, if you remember. We had Keith Baldwin was on from Spike's Trophies, and he's one of our mentors. And Keith shared some of his experiences and his book with us. So just a great program. And if you have an opportunity, if you have a company, or you're trying to get a company off the ground, start doing it. But look to those kinds of programs to kind of help you maneuver and move forward. So I talked a little bit about PD Green, the PD Green program, but the one thing that you should know about the organization is just the passion of just helping people navigate coming out of the criminal justice system and trying to find their lane where they are. And I truly believe it happens at the intersection of education and all the support services. It definitely takes a village when people are trying to come home, trying to start their lives over. There is no, it's hard. It's hard kind of figuring out, where do I go? How do I, find that job? How do I get support like clothing and transportation, all those basic needs? And the reality is there's so many people out there doing great work that, there are people out there. You just need to know where to turn and get those resources. So check out PD Green. It's www.pd, it's PETYGREENE.org. And PD Green is, he was a DJ in Washington, and had a passion for helping people find their path through education. And again, it's kind of ironic that I'm on air because he got his journey started after he came out from prison, becoming a disc jockey and spinning records and having a talk show where people would call in and say, and he would say, "Talk to me." And there's a great movie called Talk to Me, which is all about P.D. Green and the work he did as a DJ in Washington, getting people to talk about their issues and what was happening. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to be in the P.D. Green program. A shout out to all my staff who've just been remarkable in getting me off the ground and making sure that we have a good start. So we're gonna take a quick break because we do have a surprise guest with us today. So I'm gonna give them some space to stand up, and we'll be right back at the Looking Forward Show. are back. We are back. Is it we of music and community? So I'm passing this to Ja, and you're gonna run with it. So it's all yours, bud.
Yeah, we're going to take a little detour now. So, with me today is a very special guest. I recently met him while doing a photo shoot down at Walnut Locust Station, and he is a very creative mind. And I've only known him for about a week and a half now. Nah. You're being nah. Don Callisto is the brand, and Don is the name. And I'm just want to say, how you feeling, man?
Give it to you. Gotta talk right into the
Yeah, talk
microphone
right
there.
to the mic.
Yeah.
You're good. You're good right here. You're good.
There
You're
you
good.
go.
No, I'm feeling good. Just a lot of work on the outside. Work.
So tell the public, what do you do? What do you do?
I am a fashion designer.
What's the name of the brand?
Callisto, the unknown.
And
Yeah.
give us a little bit of background. I understand your shower. Listen,
Oh,
look,
yeah,
we
you
all
already know.
look, bro. My first show was I was like looking at the camera, looking at my lip, like,
Yeah.
all right, we good. But anyway, I just want you to. I'm giving you this platform that way you can put yourself out there and tell
Yeah.
people what the brand is, what it represents, and how you just basically helping out yourself and your community.
Okay, well, for all of that, I gotta go back to like the beginning.
Oh yeah, this is why we're here. We have
Go back to
stories.
the beginning. Yeah. Okay.
We got a half hour, bro.
So-
Go ahead.
Years and years ago, I don't know. I did art back when I was younger, and I always just like I fell in love with art and like clothing. Even though I didn't really have too much of a sense for fashion, I just fell in love with like clothing. So as time went by and everything, I could say I found a peace with myself during like the quarantine phase, like COVID-19. So, I just decided let me mix the two that I like the most. I gave up. I used to play basketball from high school. I gave up basketball.
Which high school?
Boys Latin in
Okay,
West
okay,
Philadelphia.
okay.
Yeah.
Very familiar with
But
them.
like after like 10th grade, like when it hit, when COVID-19, I said, nah,
I'm pretty sure
I'm
my
just
school
do-
played your school, Penn Treaty. We probably played
Penn
y'all.
Treaty?
Yeah, Penn Treaty. Yeah, I think we played y'all one time.
Probably once. I don't know.
But that's neither here or there.
They just get worse and worse every year. But I mean, we good now. So. But yeah, around that time, that's when I was just like, I'm gonna start off this brand. I really just give like the people my story and everything through it.
So when you were showing me some of your stuff, I was getting, for a lot of viewers that may not know, it was giving me a lot of like V-Lone, Playboy Cardi vibes
Okay.
because of how dark and grim it is. But it's like I'm not downplaying it because I actually am a big fan of that style of stuff. In fact, you will see it on the air. So, but where did that inspire? What inspired you to go that route? Because you could have went anything. You could have did high fashion. You could have did button up shirts. What inspired you to go into the more underground aesthetic?
I'm just really a big fan of like relating with my crowd. Like we pretty much like people like me pretty much just came from that same type of background, that darker, not too bright background.
The Ragers and the Mosh Pitters, guys.
Yes. So
That's who we're referring to. I'm one of them. The Ragers and the Mosh Pitters.
yeah, so I basically just wanted to put it in there, but with what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to like twist it in a way where it's like I'm giving you that same aesthetic, but I'm giving you more of like more like a art felt type theme, like, cause I'm taking like more of like a lust route. Yeah, so just like everything that I'm doing, I'm like painting or like drawing or everything. So like
And everything's hand done.
yeah, everything is hand done before it's made. So I just try to put my own little 2 cents into it, as I'm still giving you like an experience that we can share through the like,
So,
movies.
so I got a question. Is this like, am I gonna be wearing your stuff? Like, can I wear? Am I the kind of guy that would be wearing it, or
Yeah.
is it mostly for people like in your neighborhood, your friends? Like,
No, everybody. It's for everybody. I feel
Is
like I don't know. I just feel like it should be shared with everybody and anybody.
so I got a question for you too. When you see your family or friends wearing your stuff,
Yeah.
what's it make you feel like?
I don't know. It's kind of funny to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, it's always love. Like I always like seeing people wear my stuff anywhere. But it's kind of surprising though, at the same time because
It's surreal.
yeah, it's like just seeing somebody wear something that you made. It's kind of like I don't know.
Watching your work, watching your craft,
Yeah.
even if like me, like when I first watched the show, like seeing myself on TV, it was like, whew, dang, because you start critiquing yourself, you start critiquing everything. So it's like I could see like if I was walking down the street with your shirt on, you would probably to me, I would probably think the shirt's perfect, but to you, you'd probably be like the neckline is too big, the neckline's too big, or the stitching is not enough like stitching marks. It's like,
It's always like
yeah,
that.
yeah. So I can understand where you're coming
Like, even
from.
when I did my first photo shoot, for these hoodies actually, and I was
You might wanna get that in the camera,
There you
guy.
go. He's wearing his
He's
little.
branding. I was gonna be mad if he ain't coming no brand.
There you go.
I was gonna be mad if a designer came in with no brand. I was like, bro.
But I did my photo shoot for these. But like the whole time we were doing the photo shoot, and like my models, Anthony McCray and John Yoren, yeah. The whole time I'm just like, I don't know. I was really just critiquing it in my head, like damn, 'cause I never liked these hoodies at all.
And that's the thing. A bunch of artists never like their work until
Yeah.
they put it out.
And this is like these are my best sellers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what is it you didn't like about a hoodie?
I don't know. It's just like everything I do, I like to take time with it, and I like to put 100% into it. The design that I made for these originally, it was like a few seconds. Like I didn't.
Wow.
I was really just,
So give us a little bit. We see your logo. You may not be able to see it at home, but it's kind of cool. So
Yeah.
what inspired it? How'd you get to that?
Okay, I want to take it off just to show the whole thing. Yeah.
Show the world.
We are on radio, so
Yeah.
remember you might have to do a little describing here,
yeah.
so you
Oh,
can.
don't worry. I'm posting this. I got my guess. I'm posting this. So,
I knew that was coming.
I'm going to screen grab.
So it's on the left
We going to
chest,
get this.
You see the
It's kind of some
it's
wings
like
on.
a-
Looks almost
yeah,
like
it's
an
a-
astronaut.
astronaut with wings.
An astronaut with wings. That's super
And on
cool.
the back it says would rather be on the moon.
Oh, that's really
Yeah.
cool.
So it's like more of like a, I don't know. It's like it's like a simple
DonCallisto.com.
theme. It's a simple aesthetic, but it has a deeper meaning to it.
I'd rather be on the moon. So give me the
Yeah.
deeper meaning. Come
The
on.
deeper meaning is
Yeah.
more like a euphoric feeling, like to be.
It's
on
okay,
it.
bro. We
Yeah.
get what you mean. We get what you mean.
Yeah, of course, but yeah, it's like a more euphoric feeling, like when you're at a good state, like a good feeling.
Yeah, don't you wish everybody could have that?
Oh yeah, I wish.
So when you do your stuff, do you get in like this zone? Like
Yeah, I
where nothing can bother you, just kind of you're doing your drawings, kind of putting stuff
Like,
together.
I will literally sit in my room all night in the dark, just making designs all day.
How many hours? How many hours a week do you think?
A week?
Yeah, do you think you spend designing?
No, like most of my day is designing.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not doing work. or
So are
if
you
I'm
still
not-
in school?
Yeah, I'm still in
Where
school.
do you go to school? Oh,
I
you
go to
mentioned.
Temple,
Yeah,
yeah.
you go to Temple.
Yeah, I got
TU. All right. All right, we love that. There you go.
Yeah, I
I
can
love
take
that.
that.
Right over yonder. We right around the way.
And what are you
Yeah.
studying at Temple?
I'm studying business.
Okay, good for
Yeah.
you.
Fun fact: I did not want to do college at all.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't.
What prompted you? What moved you that way?
Back when I first started it, my
Yeah.
brand, I never wanted to do college. I was kind of falling into like a slump with schoolwork and everything. But I don't know, low-key, like just having that work ambition kind of brought me back to my love for like school. So I just was like, I'm gonna do both.
I think we talked about this when we first met. I think we talked about this exactly when we first met because we was like in the train station of one of the locals while everybody taking pictures. We just talking about his business, and I told him I was like, I remember watching an interview from from someone that we both like know of and you in the like media world, and he was like, a lot of young cats think they can just go out and start a business with no backup or no like experience, and it's like, you follow Virgil Abloh, the creator of Off-White and who did Louis Vuitton, and it's like, little do you know, he has his master's. He has his master's in business and architecture to the point where he went from designing clothes to designing furniture for IKEA.
Wow.
Because he has that background. And so it's like, I really appreciate, because I'm not in school, but I appreciate you for doing it, because we all have our different paths. And for you and what you're doing, that helps. Because like I say, you can go from doing his clothes to literally designing interiors for a car or whatever, because someone likes your artistic vision.
Yeah, but it's more than that, because it's not just the art. And I guess the thing that's striking me most right now is the fact that you could have taken a different path.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that you saw how important learning the business was from that piece of it at Temple, and then marrying it up with your passion, which is the clothing end of it, is truly remarkable, and that's something to be really proud of. It really is. So congratulations.
No, I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Big ups to you,
So
bro.
we're going to take a really quick break, and then we're going to come right back. You're listening to the Looking Forward Show. We're on WPPM LP Philadelphia 106.5, and we will be right back. We are back at the Looking Forward Show, and we're here with Dime Don and Ja King, and this is going to be Jeff I don't know what I'm going to there we go. So I'm really curious about so many things. I'm going to give you a little bit of room here, Jacques, because I know it's your guest and you got a lot to talk about.
worry,
but
man.
I'm turning it to you. Go for it.
Look, first of all, don't worry, because it shows that you're interested in who I bring in. And since you brought me in, and
There
you're
you
not
go.
interested in who I bring in, then we got a problem.
Yeah, this is true.
But back to what we were saying. So earlier we were talking about your business and where you want to go.
Yeah.
What's next for the business? Though?
Next is more events.
More of a, yeah.
Yeah, I really like
Networking, more to
a
networking.
lot more
More.
networking, a lot more events. I have a fashion show coming up in the
Where
spring
at?
called Dying Lust in New York.
Wait, say that again. What was the show called?
Yeah, I have a fashion show called Dying Lust.
I love it.
Yeah,
That's
it's in New
cool.
York. It's a collab with my friend Kenyatta. He has a brand called Dying Breed.
When?
The date is not.
Not to do. Let me know. I'll
it's
get
not-
my. I'll
not
get my
final
ticket.
yet.
I'll book my ticket.
It was supposed to be like, it got pushed back. It was supposed to be like the other day, like
Oh,
Saturday.
okay. I'm glad it wasn't. No, like I said, I'm just being. I'm glad it
That's the
wasn't.
reason.
It was Super Bowl week. We can't. I
Yeah.
I couldn't miss a lot of
Super Bowl
things.
week, today's Valentine's Day, and nobody's trying to go to a show. Nobody's thinking about no show at that time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah.
That'd be crazy if you was able to do it like during Fashion Week.
crazy
That's the
too.
biggest networking you can
Yeah.
get.
I just had to do more like networking for that.
Yeah.
I did talk to people for that to try to put it in there, but
You got to keep pushing it, because my mom taught me, keep calling them until they're annoyed of you to where they have to give you what you want, because it's like they can't block you. Businesses and people like that can't block you. You have to keep annoying them until you get what you want.
Nah, your mom sounds like my mom.
Yeah, like she wanted a house and she kept calling.
Sounds like
people.
my mom too. So.
She wanted a house and she kept calling people and calling them and asking them like, "Hey, did my applicant get through?" 15 years, like from a year, and then she got it.
So I'm still. You guys got to educate me, man. I'm curious. Like, how much impact does clothing have on your mentality? Like, what you do on the streets in your neighborhoods. Like, what impact does your clothing have on people that are wearing it?
Like my personal clothing that I make, or just
Yeah.
clothing in general. My clothing in general, like my clothing that I make, I feel like it just gives like some type of, I don't know, just gives you like an edge. Like, I don't know, it just gives you like, I really don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
It's like anything that you would like. You have on right now, like you have on Balenciagas right now. Like you have on Balenciagas right now. I know, like the creator of Balenciaga, if he sees somebody wearing Balenciaga, no matter how big you get or like what stage you get to,
He or she or they are going to critique them.
Yeah, but like any stage you get to, just seeing like your clothes on somebody just gives a different energy. I don't know, like it's just like it's hard to group them with everything else that you have.
Is your family proud of you?
Yeah, really proud.
Yeah.
But like
should
I don't
be.
know, it's like, you know, they don't really. They obviously they come from more of a system where it's like it's either this or you're not doing it.
Oh, so
it's like,
you're the
it goes
standout, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
You're the
I'm basically
standout.
like the black sheep in the family.
That's
So
me.
It's like my family, they always wanted me to be like an engineer. But it's like I can't do that. I just feel like it just has to come to a time where we have to just break out of our shell.
Got to find that passion.
Find that
And
passion,
family-
really actually do what you plan to do.
So when you're in that big fashion show in New York and everyone wants free tickets, you can say, hey, wait a second, go see that engineer, right?
Exactly, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
No, I family's supportive. I think it's good when family gives you the rope,
Yeah.
that the distance you can figure it out on your
I
own.
never blame them though, cause it's like it's just
It's-
critique. It's just critiquing. It's like, you know, you never know how big somebody's gonna get with what they're going to. So
And that's them right
they just
outside,
need-
right?
It's just advice.
That's them right up. That's them right up there, right? Your family outside.
Oh no, that's not my.
Oh,
family.
but-
That's- yeah,
but either way-
that's my girl.
Oh, but okay. But even with that, you brought a support group with you. You could have came here solo,
I really could have.
but you brought people that are genuinely here for you, and you're literally at like. Nobody's trying to doubt. You're literally at the stage 1 or stage 2, 3, the beginning stages of where you're going to be in the future. So for them to be here now, and we're gonna look back at this moment, and it's like I remember when I did my this radio show, and I had them 3 here, and it's like 10 years from now, I'm doing multiple radio shows, interviews, and they're still there.
Man, still.
Yeah, 5 years from now,
5
man, I'm
years
gonna be
from now.
wearing your stuff
Next year.
I'm gonna have my closet filled with all your all your swag. So we can remember when you were on this show.
Oh, but first of all, let's look at his feet. He got some nice. I just happened to look down and see the Prada, the Prada loafers.
You got nothing crazy.
Prada
So,
I wore this class.
man, it's like a fashion show going on over here. I'm curious, like when
Man
you
came down to come get me, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah,
I
I know they're
undressed.
probably looking at me like, who is
So
this?
Yeah, I
if
keep
anyone
undressed.
ever questions the pivot of the show, we pivoted from just the two of us today to talking music to now going all into fashion, which is all good. And
Art.
it's art and fashion.
What are y'all talking about?
We are talking about
What was
justice
the-
and community. And I'm curious from your perspective. You live in West Philly?
I
Yeah.
live in Southwest.
In Southwest Philly. Yeah, I'm curious, like, what impact do you think clothing has on, the way not only we see each other, but the way we deal in community? Gun violence is really rampant in our city with a lot of addiction issues, a lot of challenges there. Do you think you can make an impact with getting people feeling better about the way they look?
Definitely, like, we've been stuck in, like, a certain system, I could say, for so long, to where it's like, if you try to break out of it, you're always seen as, like, different or some type of weirdo. But I feel like being able to, like, share yourself or your thoughts through your clothes or how you present yourself on an everyday basis, it just gives us, like, this, like, type of community. Like, when we went to that photo walk,
Yeah.
it was, like,
We saw a bunch of different
people that just-
faces
you
and
could
places.
tell, like, they come from all different types, like, all different types of families or all different sides of Philadelphia, but they just come together as one. Like, it just, I don't know, it's just like some type of empowering group.
Yeah, we come from this, and we live in a city where a lot of support isn't given, especially in people.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, at his
it's
age,
not really popular or cool to
because
give
I,
support to the next person.
because there's one thing I can say. Along with meeting him, I was able to network and build relationships with over 20 people because of that photo shoot, as opposed to me sitting at home waiting for someone to find my page on Instagram and then thinking about following me. And it's like, what more can I do? It's like, what more do you want me to do? Do you want me to pay you to like me? Which is I'm not going to do, but it's like, I'm not asking you to like put $1 million in my hand. I'm just saying, hey, put my name out there. I'll put your name out there. Because I give back too.
Yeah, it's that identity thing, I think, that strikes me as, just trying to find, you come in always with a wacky jersey on or, something going on.
the water
And
boy
it's
today,
kind of who you are. It kind of defines who you are. And I think a lot of times people don't find that until it's too late. They really never find that lane of expressing themselves. And you guys both do it through clothing and what you wear and the work you do, which is kind of is intriguing and definitely passionate. When you talk about we work with a lot of I work with a lot of marginalized populations, have a hard time dealing with poverty and finding that lane out of poverty. And I guess one of the things I often see, especially working with a lot of young people, is they never see that lane. They never think they can go into it, right? They never think they can start their own company, that they can do this. What advice would you have for like people that are out there that are in maybe in high school, not where you are yet, but thinking about what lane I should be in? And for this one, you got to pull the mic really close because we want to hear you good on this one.
All right, yeah. For my advice, I would literally just say, do it for your younger self, or just do what you love. I don't know, just do what you love, because nobody's gonna fully support you the way you're gonna support yourself.
Good
words. It's just a sweet, short and sweet.
That was different though. You said you said do it for your younger self.
Yeah.
A lot of people do it for their future selves.
Because that's basically what I'm doing now. Because my younger self, I used to sit there and draw and draw and draw every day in class. I used to get bad grades in art, but I'll literally be drawing on my free time. And then my art teacher used to get mad at me like, why, what's going on? What are you doing in my class? You're great at art. But it was just like, I'm just doing it for myself. I don't know. So the story behind my brand is really just from, just from my younger heart. Just doing it for the passion that I had when I was younger for art.
And I think a lot of people, I think that's where a lot of like businesses and like your ideas stem from when we're adults. It stems from when we're children. Yeah. Because it's like, our parents are always put in our brains that we can be anything we wanted to be, from presidents to astronauts. And then it's like, if I'm doing something close to that, or I'm doing something in that idea, it's like, this is something my younger self spoke about as like a joke when I was 9, and then I was serious about it when I was 19.
And now you're just fulfilling it as like a career.
Yeah, don't you think though that even in grade school that we really should try to see those things as teachers? Like we should see those challenges. You're drawing all day in class. Yeah. There's this great, awesome video. If you guys haven't seen it, you got to just Google motivation drummer. But there's this great video of a young kid who is in grade school, and he's sitting in class, and all he's doing is he's beating the drum all day long, and he's beating his drum, and teachers yell at him, stop drumming, stop playing, stop doing that. And he goes down to the principal. Principal says, just try sitting on your hands. And he goes back to class. He sits on his hands, and 2 minutes later, he's drumming again. And finally, one teacher pulled him aside and said, stay after class. And he stays after class, and this wonderful video. And he sits the young person down, and he says, I want you to know you're not in trouble. And the teacher says to him, you're not in trouble, but he says, I got one question for you. He says, did you ever think about playing the drums? And he pulls out from his desk drawer 2 drumsticks. And this young man grows up and becomes one of the most famous drummers because a teacher saw in him what no one else saw. Now imagine if your art teacher or your teacher when you were in grade school said, man, you got some talent there. You should be drawing. Let's marry that with some education and see where you go with it. Wouldn't that be incredible?
Yeah, that would. That's why I would love for like more subjects or like more like teachers to be that way, to really push a child to do what they actually like, what is in front of them, like what you see them do all day, literally.
Because like a lot of because it's funny, it's like a kind of a joke now. But when you hear like rappers saying this goes up to the teachers that said I wouldn't be this, a lot of them could be lying. But it's like it's been spoken of in real life to the point where it happens. A lot of teachers, a lot of authority figures tell kids that they will never be the next great athlete or the next great artist or football or whatever, and a lot of us believe that because like these are people that are supposed to literally steer us in the right direction and give us guidance into the outside world, and then they're telling us that I'm not going to make it and I should just get a regular 9 to 5. That's not my dream.
Yeah, and we see that a lot now. I think the education community is starting to pick it up better too, and I think they're beginning to realize, if we can show young people that what they love to do could be their profession, like even playing video games, gaming today can really make a good career out of it. Developing games, being in the IT world, all those different kinds of things.
There's an award show for streamers. Like,
there you go. How about operating drones, man? You could literally fly a drone all day and make a good living.
What they did before the NFC Championship game with the drones, the light show they did over Benjamin Franklin Parkway.
There
it was
you go.
all drones, like 2,000 drones made like a bunch of like Eagles themed stuff.
Really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. So you're listening to the Looking Forward Show. We're at Philly Cam Radio, WPPM. LP, Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with Dime Don and Ja King, and they're going to tell us the future, or what's in the future for them. So we're giving them a second to think about it. We'll be right back.
It's the Breakfast Bunch.
We are back at the Looking Forward Show, Philly Cam Radio, WPPM LP, Philadelphia 106.5 FM, and Philly Cam TV. We're live streaming on Xfinity 6696, iOS TV 2930, Roku, Apple TV, and on your favorite YouTube channel. So we're grateful that you got to drop in today and bust up this great duo that we had going on for a show today, but it's all cool. We were going to get to talk all day, and now we get to really hear some amazing stuff. Your story is really pretty incredible, and I'm curious about a lot of things, but one of the things I like to kind of get into is, from here, where do you go? Like, where do you see yourself? Louis Vuitton next week, or what's next on your plate? And where do you think your company's going to go?
It's funny because I don't see myself like taking that approach with it. I really just want to be like that type of community leader. I've always wanted to be like that person to be looked up to when it comes to like stuff like that, or just be like a helping hand to the people that's under me, pretty much.
And that's why I brought you here, because what I could have did was I could have spent an hour just using this time to talk about whatever, but having it come out of my mouth. Right. But that's when Jeff brought me up here for the first time, I was like, you're giving me the platform to give other people a platform. When he said I had reign to get guests, that was like the greatest thing he could have said to me, as opposed to me saying,
what did I do? What?
You said I get guests. Yeah. I'm like, I got you, because me being younger and me being especially in the community that me and you were in, we know a lot of people. And then I tell people all the time, I said, I may not be a social media star, but out there, outside, people know me. Like, I'm kind of not to do my harm, I'm kind of a legend. Especially around Temple University, I'm a legend. There's stories about me, people seeing me, saying, "Hey, we used to see you in this," and it's like,
man, I gotta get a bigger studio because that head's getting so big. May not be able to fit in here with.
I want New York. I want iHeartRadio studio. Me and Jeff.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah. So, talk to me about community and your perspective on community. Being a community leader is really setting the tone for people around you. Young people looking up to you in your community.
I have a lot of like cousins or like just people that simply will follow me on Instagram and be like, yo, like, what's tips to do this? Or I like what you're doing. Like, my roommate, he literally, like, just is a fan.
these
But
are
not
people
on, like,
older?
not no disrespectful type.
And these are older people or younger people.
No, some younger, some older.
And
But it's like, you know, growing up, I never really had someone to really steer me in that right path, except for, like, my brother. So, like, he just always inspired me, like, to be that same person for the people that's coming up after you.
That's pretty cool. What would you, if you could do anything right now in the community, you could change anything. I'm giving you, I always have I don't have it here today, but magic wand. I have my magic wand I give to people. If you could do anything you think could change the community today, what would you be doing?
I would say just for people to be more open. I feel like a lot of people just keep themselves tucked inside all the time, or like their personalities. I feel like if they were able to open up to more people, or just see somebody on the street and be willing to have a conversation like what you did with me.
this would have never happened.
Yeah, like a lot of stuff.
Wait, so how'd you guys meet?
Literally met because
we showed up at it was like an open photo shoot. It was a 70s themed photo shoot like a few weeks ago at Walnut and Locust Station, and it started off as like 5 people, ended up turned into like 50 maximum.
It was
Just
crazy.
kids all from the ages of 18 to 22, just in 70s clothes and and just random outfits. And we're on the train. We went to NRG station, and we had people looking at us like we was the coolest things on the block because we didn't care.
Yeah.
And it was like, who you really going to tell the 50 kids that are all together that we look like crap, that we stink, that we suck? Like, that's a bad move. But it was like, yeah, if I hadn't, and it's crazy, I didn't get to speak to all those 50, but within the 20 people I met, he was one of them, and here we are discussing his story.
Yeah, he just didn't believe you had a radio show. That's all.
Oh no, I believe it.
Oh, nah. I put that out there. I'd be like, yeah, I got radio. You want to be a guest? I won't. It's crazy. I don't tell that to everybody.
Yeah.
I'm not telling it to everybody because I've told that to a few people already, and they were serious about me. Like, can I be a guest? Can I come on the show? And I'm like, what do you do? What do you do? I have a story to tell. What do you do?
Yeah, there you go. I love it. I've been doing some work. I mentioned the small business mentoring initiative that we did, and one of the winners was Bourbon Couture, women's line of clothing that was developed. But I also want to highlight somebody else in that class, and the last class was a young person named Brandon Ross. And Brandon is he's from Philadelphia, and I met him at a project in actually a fair, community event that was going on. But Brandon makes these wonderful shirts and jerseys and all this different stuff, and on it is embedded the word "studying never stops." And which is kind of cool, right? But he's got his own clothing line that has "Studying Never Stops" on it. His name is Brandon Ross. I want to give a shout out to Brandon because he completed.
Shout out Brandon Ross.
Yeah, Brandon. He created this whole product line that he had out there, and he was part of the small business mentoring program that we went through. And he was there telling about his marketing strategy, and he's in high school and just kicking it, just doing a really great job with it.
I really love the color of that font.
So people really have the opportunity to make change happen, to meet their dreams, right? And all they got to do is they got to go out and do it. Too often people talk about things, and I'm always talking to my staff and other people I know. It's not a thing until it's a thing, right? You could talk all you want, but what's so amazing about the work you've done, the work that Ja's doing, quite frankly, is that you're taking the concept and you're sitting down and doing it. I'm curious, how many other logos do you have out there, or what is that primarily your brand, or are you looking at other things?
This is just this brand, like this logo itself with the letters, and then it's like a little like astronaut falling off the eye. That's just like something I made when I was like 2 years ago, but I just stayed with it because I don't know, it was just big for me because I never thought I would have the support that I had when I was like when I first started.
When you show that dedication, you get that support.
When I first posted my logo, like everybody around me posted it around, and it was like, wow, like this is crazy.
Because they know you're serious.
Yeah, they knew I was actually serious about it. That's the thing.
Because we've seen too many. Hey, I got a T-shirt line. I got a T-shirt. Here's the first question: You have your LLC, right?
Yeah,
LLC.
of course.
There you go. That's the first question.
Yeah.
Do you have your LLC? That lets me know if you're serious because you're showing you want ownership and what you're doing.
What's the second question?
What's the logo?
What's the logo?
What's the logo?
Okay.
Do you have a
Yeah,
Do you have an
so what's
LLC? Do you have a logo?
Okay.
Do you have at least a 6 to year plan on your business before you start up? And it's crazy. This is coming from me, a person with no business. I was going to start a clothing brand back in the pandemic, back during the pandemic. But then I was like, but then I started realizing that I was better off wearing the clothes and using my voice instead, and that's why I'm here.
There you go.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there. Hey, Louis Vuitton, contact me. I've been wearing your stuff for years.
I love it. How much longer you got to go in school?
This is actually my first year.
Your first year, freshman.
Yeah,
How's it going?
Really young. It's crazy.
How's it going?
I didn't even think that.
Nah, it's going great though. I ain't gonna lie. Temple,
Yeah.
they doing.
I thought
it
he was a
crazy.
senior in college.
Really?
Yeah.
Yo.
I thought you was on your way out.
Everybody thinks that I'm like in my mid-20s. It's crazy.
That's what I thought. I thought you was like 22, 23. I'm like, he's
I always
old.
talk to that about like with my friends. Like we're really
Because
like,
I'm
some
21,
of the
so it's like, I'm
youngest.
thinking you was older than me. I'm like, yeah, got the fuck.
Wow.
But that's great though. When people say I'm actually younger than what I seem, it just shows how much time you were able to get, how much stuff you was able to get done in that little
In
time.
that little
Because when
time.
did you start? This was when you, because
When I
you're,
was 16.
so you're in your 19?
I'm 19 right now.
So it took you 3 years. Imagine what the
Yeah.
next year was going to look like, the next 2 years
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah,
And
you-
you're already at this level because you only can go up. Because when you're at the top, you only go down. And when
So-
you're at the bottom, you go up.
So, Don, tell us, if we wanted to find out more about you, where's the best place to kind of find you?
Like social media wise.
Social media,
This is the
sure.
time to plug yourself.
Where are you?
Personal social media. Don Callisto. DonCallistto on Instagram. Clothing brand Callisto the Unknown. Callistto the Unknown. Yeah. That's it.
Awesome. It's great. Congratulations on really finding that dream and going with it,
Yeah,
and
for
the
real.
courage to do it, man. Good luck to you in school, and
Oh,
we
yes.
want to see you back here when you graduate, so that we can spend some more time and see all the other product line that's out there.
And yes, he does have a website. Link is in
Oh,
link is in
yeah.
the bio. Links in the bio. Before you forgot, links in the bio. Great stuff. Great stuff.
There you go. We'll definitely will put you up, and we'll post you on our website,
Most
so
definitely. I'll
you can
make
get
sure
some
of that.
information and people
make sure of
can reach you. But thanks for joining us today.
Nah,
Definitely an
thank
inspiration,
you
man.
guys for bringing me on.
Most
This is
definitely,
my,
most
my first
definitely.
time doing something like this. It's crazy.
Oh,
That's why I was so nervous.
We're gonna have you back again.
We need to get a photo. Of course.
Oh, we're definitely get some. We'll get some photos as soon as the show's over.
I
but
need to post
to do
this.
it right now when we're not finished yet.
Yeah, I
You're
need to
always
post this.
jumping, man.
Yeah. So
You're gonna post it everywhere. John,
my first guest, I'm posting.
I love it. I love it.
And it's somebody I know. Well, I'm posting.
Yeah, so I want to give a shout out to out there for anybody that wants to come on the show.
Yes.
If you're in the Philadelphia area or not, I mean, we're taking guests from all over the country now. But if you're interested in coming on, go to lookingforwardshow@gmail.com and send us what you'd like to talk about, and we'd be glad to entertain it. I know we got some guests coming up. We're going to be doing some remote shows as well. I'm hoping to score a show down at Ben Franklin High School. Been doing some work down there and get some young people on to share a little bit about their vision and where they're headed and what they're passionate about. So looking forward to that as well.
And I'm throwing this into the ether now for me and Jeff. We will be doing a live show in years to come, live from one of the 3 stadiums in South Philly. We will do that. We will do it.
I love it.
We will do Looking Forward live from Lincoln Financial. We will do it. I'll guarantee you.
I'm gonna be sitting front row. So,
There you
We're
go.
gonna be on it. It's a panel.
I'm up for it. So Philadelphia Eagles, 76ers,
We'll be doing
Phillies.
a tour.
Yeah, man, if you got some space for us down there, we're coming down into your studio. Just give me a call and we'll bring it on.
Center floor, center field,
There you
right
go.
there.
We're bringing the young boys to Philadelphia, right?
We're gonna plug the mics to the big speakers.
I love it.
They're gonna hear us on the highway.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what I got myself into. I made it through 4.5 years, and looking forward, I know I'm gonna make it through my 5th.
Don't
but
worry, I'm gonna keep you younger.
I know that I know for sure you will.
Keeping you younger. I already got you at the wrestling troop. So it's like,
It's all true. It's all true.
Yeah.
So we're winding down, but I want to thank you for being on the show.
Most definitely.
And-
Thank you.
And yeah, it was great. Ja, it's always a pleasure being with you, and never know what you're going to pull out of your hat. And obviously, you pulled out a great guest today. And thanks for leading the charge today. I appreciate
Man,
it.
and I'm just gonna let a little. If for people, it is hard getting guests. Like you would think it's easy to get people in front of a camera. It's hard because a lot of people are timid or people just don't respond.
Yeah.
So it's like shout out to him and shout out to the other people that's responding because those are for future shows as well. So
There you
it's
go.
like,
All right, everybody. We're wrapping. It's a Looking Forward show. Thanks everybody for
The
being
Breakfast
here.
Bunch.
And we'll see you in a few weeks. Take care, everybody.
You've been watching or listening to the Looking Forward Show with Jeffrey Abramowitz. You can listen to us on Philly Cam Radio at WPPM LP Philadelphia 106.5 FM or Philly Cam TV. We're live streamed at Xfinity 66 and 966, Fios TV 29 and 30, Roku, Apple TV, Facebook, or check us out on our YouTube, The Looking Forward Show channel. If you need to reach The Looking Forward Show, you can reach us at lookingforwardshow@gmail.com.